How do you introduce yourself in a video? What are things I say? What are words that I use? Hi. Welcome back. Those are words I use. Yes. Okay. Anyways, let's just start the video. This is not working. I don't know how to do an introduction. Okay. So I have done a lot of things off screen, but I want to give you some solace, okay? You didn't actually miss that much content. I did get a lot done, but everything that you're going to see here, really I just did that in the span of one play session, which wasn't even that long. And that was yesterday. And so today, really I've just kind of gone through and tried to touch up some of what I did yesterday. And so what I'd like to do is take you through that and at the same time try to explain what I'd like to do to polish these areas up so that we can actually start using the Skylands for building. But I wanted to talk about a couple changes here I'd like to implement for the channel. First, recording this type of content, I don't think is that fun for me. Like, it does give me a soundboard to yap into, so I'm not talking to myself. I guess I still am talking to myself, which is a whole other conversation, but, you know, they talk about, what is it called? Parasocial relationships, but I feel like it probably goes both ways a little bit, right? Because, like, me recording, I feel like the only way I can do this somewhat naturally is to imagine as though I'm talking to somebody. And so I have this, like, avatar, I guess, in my head. It's like a senseless, faceless avatar, but there's something or someone I'm trying to talk to as I do this, right? You know what? We don't have to go into psychology and philosophy. What am I doing? This is a Pokopia channel. Let's get grounded here. Let's focus on the serious stuff. The Skylands. All that said, right? What I was getting at is, you know, it's not super fun for me to record this type of content beyond the yapping exercise, but I think I'd like to produce this type of stuff in a streaming environment where I don't necessarily need to worry about editing all the content unless something genuinely really cool happens or that I find value in, right? I can pull it out individually. So I'd like to stream this kind of stuff. No idea what that looks like yet, by the way. I still have to make sure my stream setup will work. And I'd like to be uploading content that is more about touring or talking about things in Pokopia. Maybe some mini builds here and there, but nothing of this scale, right? Anything that I know is going to be a huge project, I want to try to do that on stream, I think, effectively. It's just going to make my life less of a headache where I'm not editing 15 hours of content every couple days or once a week even, without having to lose momentum. Because what I'd like to get back to doing is the thing I had the most fun with is showing you Rocky Ridges. But I don't want to show you Rocky Ridges. I want to show you Bleak Beach, and I want to show you Withered Wastelands. Because I've also done a lot there. So I left a poll up the other day. I'm going to link it in probably the comments. Maybe I'll pin it. I don't even know if I can pin it yet. But I'll put it in the comment section. And I'm just going to ask you guys, you know, what area do you want me to tour first? Bleak Beach or the Withered Wastelands? Right now, my Bleak Beach, when I first built it up, the idea I had in my head was markets. So I wanted it to be the place where I house most of the trade Pokemon. And so I tried to build a lot of marketplaces here and there. With Withered Wastelands, that was the very first area I built on. And I built the thing that I thought was the most important, resource generation. So all of my main farms are essentially there. They're not pretty yet. They're functional, but I do have to go through and put a lot more effort into it. I've already told you guys, but that's kind of going to be, I think, the next major thing I start doing is going back into the areas I've built and actually making them livable. Super excited for that, by the way. But yeah, I'd like to really just kind of show you things that are a bit more finished on these YouTube videos, because that's the thing I genuinely am finding joy editing. So I suppose we've done enough talking. Why don't we now just actually go look at what's been done? So I'll try to do a slow pan as much as I can. Pokopia doesn't really let you do that. But now you can kind of see a slight overview of what's here. Just like I said, I wanted to connect all these kind of main core islands. I do plan on connecting that one as well. Just trying to centralize here, right? I don't want to fully connect everything because I like the aesthetic of the Skylands, but I did need more land to build on. There's no way around it. I just needed more places to build on. So I made it. Now, I don't think it's perfect, There's a lot of like weird edges that I'm seeing here, but I don't know that there's much more I can do to improve that from the top down. And I probably intend to keep some of the architecture and landscape naturally as it is. Even those houses, I'll probably try my best to restore them in that area so that I have like at least one original part of Skylands remaining. And then I see myself touching up this edge area and that side a little bit more. I'm happier with the side of this cliff, I think. One thing I did do is I left a little incision point, or whatever this is. I think if I go that way straight ahead, it would actually lead back to the storage system, so I kind of like having this, possibly. But I've also left a gap here so you can see the underside. It looks insane. So this is the result of me trying to build that top land. A lot like Rocky Ridges, where me building the ridge ended up creating hollowed out space. That's the same thing here. I think there's room for me to possibly use this. You'll see another one of these pockets on the other side too. My intention right now, though, I'll say, is not to use these areas. I do think I'm going to end up leaving them empty, but this could be one of those cool things that after I'm done Skylands, I can use for another purpose later on. This brings me to the route. I think one of the most important things for me to nail down now is figuring out how these are going to actually lead up to the platform. So that's probably going to be the first thing we actually just start building, is making sure that it's possible to come from here up there, right? And that could be staircases, could be, you know, the zip line things, or it could be multiple. I think what I'm going to do is just connect this platform straight across because it fits. And then I'll probably tear down a little bit of this structuring I want to say, and then I can maybe even build vertically on top of this thing. You know what would be cool? If this became like a little apartment building with the route kind of built into it. Ooh, well, that's really interesting, actually. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I guess we know what we're doing here, and then somehow it will have access to this top level, which you can walk across to get here. Okay, cool. Excellent idea. We're going to execute on that. Part of the reason why I want to add a little bit more character to the edges is because I'm really happy with this edge, but I don't want them all to look like this. Because then it's too uniform and it becomes unnatural, I feel. I think adding verticality, right, like a hill or a mountainside or like just another layer to build on top of, helps distract from some of this weird jaggedness too. So as we come to the other route, the same idea here, right? I want to focus early on how do I connect this bottom layer to the top layer. And this one's actually kind of done for me, which is nice. I think it might be worthwhile to build this as like a cave. Oh, okay. So this becomes like a big, massive cave leading to the Rocky Ridges. I like that. I like that. Okay. I think I would start by building the top layer, and then it's already going to have a way to get to the stairs. Oh, okay. I really like that. Okay, cool. So we're going to try to build a cave over here for this route. Oh yeah, another huge thing. You might not see it over here. Yeah, okay, you will. The underside of all of this is totally empty. So I am going to spend some time trying to build out the bottom level here to just look a bit more mountainous, like it was literally extracted from the ground below, just like you see on the platforms over there. Doesn't have to go to the bottom, that's fine. I mean, it could, and maybe that's a good way to start, you know, coming from the bottom up with a lot of mysterious stone and then building in additional support. But either way, something needs to be under here because it's ugly. An interesting idea I'm thinking about now is I do kind of want to build in a train system to to the Skylands, like my Rocky Ridges. And I do see that train space coming from this bottom level now that I'm looking at it, because it would just give you such insane visuals, I feel. Like, look at this. Imagine driving like a subway through this. This would be insane. Oh my gosh. I didn't have any of these ideas before I hit record. I'm so happy I hit record. Wow, so we actually came up with the ideas for the paths, and I now have a solid vision for a train system. Like, look at this, man. This is awesome. Oh my gosh, and it could go so far. Turn in, come up here and go. Oh my gosh. This is going to be incredible, guys. I'm so excited about Skylands now. The inspo hit me. I told you. I said, if I just start playing and I just start terraforming, it'll come to me. Anyways, no more self-glaze. You'll see with this side, I've already kind of built in that element of verticality I'm talking about. This one is done in the same style as, you know, over there. I feel like this is like the only style I know how to do. I need to diversify this ability, or I'm not going to be able to take on Pallet Town and Cloud Islands, I fear, the way I want to without feeling limited. I think what I might do is like watch some Minecraft videos on how to do this, see what kind of styles and methods people implement, and it should be pretty easy to translate that into Pokopia. You know, recording legitimately has just given me so many ideas now. I should probably write this down. Hold on. Now all that's left is to just nail in some of the stuff we talked about now, and I think we start with the beach side. Do I have enough stuff to build with? I'm getting pretty low, but I should be okay. Here's what we do. We go straight across. So these are connected. 10 across. Yeah, we don't need to. We can just put like a 2x2 or like a 4x4 as the road in the middle and be totally fine. Okay, underside. The underside is definitely going to need to be connected. Okay. These are now connected, and I think that is mostly seamless. A little bit of weirdness here. Phase 2 of this insanity is we need to clear up the path itself. So I think what I'll do to start is just clearly cut out what I want to cut out, and that is perfectly lined up here because that will still let me keep that area. So as I've just made that like first little cut here, I'm realizing that if I'm going to make this an apartment, because I want this to connect to the platform, then this side of the island probably gets shaved down alongside it to accommodate that build. And this will be a fun build, I think. It's funny too, because the way I built the beach is it kind of calls to the Skylands a little bit. So having this path just share that motif a little bit more is going to help. And so, you know what? Before I build the apartment or get the foundation of it, I'm going to actually take you and show you the beach side that I'm referring to that is inspired by Skylands. So you guys can see it. And then it'll be a sneak peek into the beach tour. Okay, so part 1 of this idea with the routes is done. And when I say part 1, I just mean clearing the land or like slightly getting a plot ready to build what I want to build. Note to self, we are going to have to extend this landmass out a little bit. There's not a way around it. Like, there's just not enough room to build an apartment unless we have like at least this part connected. So here's what we'll do. It's good enough for now. We can worry about the rest of it later. So right there, you're going to see an apartment that connects to Bleak Beach and gives you access to this vertical level with a staircase that also gets you up here so that you can connect to the Sparkling Skylands. I'm going to look up a video right now to see how difficult it is to build a giant kind of cave entrance. Okay, so I have a sneaking suspicion the first step is going to be to have a flat land. Just looking at this video, so... If this is the start, we're going to put a mysterious stone here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I back up, this should be the edge of the route. It is, okay. I'm going to give myself 3 spaces to the left. So this is effectively like the outer perimeter in my mind. Honestly, this would be too small. It would be a really small circle. So if I'm introspecting here, I think it would have to start like over there and over there. Okay, so this could work. The same thing over here. Oops. So this kind of becomes the back side of this alcove. And I think it actually looks pretty decent. It's basically like an oval more than a circle, which is what I was hoping to aim at. We're going to leave the mysterious stone so we can see the middle of it still. But let's go ahead and try to build out the back part of this. And I think what that means is we come behind it, literally, and we just add in depth. We outline it. Let's build one level up, just so there's like a little bit of raisedness here. And then just as I'm like following the shape here, we start to go inwards. And I think that'll make sense in a moment. You know, this is going to be a lot like the zigzag patterns, I think. So like this. We have to start anchoring it forward now. I fear this is not enough. So this is a pretty decent kind of like vibe here, but I think we have to start closing it up now. So this is probably where we're going to stop. I'm not happy with it at all. But I just needed a starting point, and this, I think, does that. It doesn't look that bad from down here, but this probably has to come out a little bit more. So that it hides this area a bit better. The back side honestly might be fine. Maybe we clean up this little weird landing strip down here a bit. But yeah, I think it just needs to be bigger and consume more of this area. So like maybe we expand it to come out a little bit more and wrap around this way. Right? It doesn't have to do that on the other side is the thing. It can be like one side of it is expanded, and that would even help to even out the shape. But that is a battle for another time, right? We've got something here now. We've got something, which is great, which is excellent. We've also cleared space over here, so we can also do something. So why don't we try to wrap up our inspo by me taking you to the bleak beach so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is kind of what I was talking about with the bleak beach. So I built this apartment over here. On top of the route that leads to the Skylands, right there. I built some like makeshift housing over here. These are housing in the style of the Skylands prefabs you can buy. I don't love this layout, and I do want to improve this, so I will kind of move things around here. But I'm thinking the apartment building, we build it in the same kind of aesthetic. The only difference is instead of just making it a building, it would kind of be integrated into the route. So like imagine beside the route is the lobby, and then above the route on the lobby is level 1 of the units, level 2 of the units, level 3 of the units, and you know, we'll gauge how much height we have by the frigid chambers height, and maybe even we slap some of these little tiny prefab homes down around it in a similar style to this. But I think that's how we kind of connect these areas visually. I'll also just say, like, this area is not done. This is just, like, my first kind of wave of it. But this is kind of what I'm getting at here, right? So, okay, I'm going to do cutaway. I don't know what will be done and what will not be done by the time you guys see what's next. Because, like I said, I'm traveling, and I may want to play as I travel. So, I'm going to go do that.